It's RV inspection day. We are back in Titusville, Florida in this beautiful Gulf home resort community. If you live here, you have to have a garage with a garage door big enough to house an RV. We are inspecting the Newmar Ventana 3709. It's a 2017, and we're going to show you midday and at the end of the day what we find, if we find anything. So the first thing Pierre did was do a little walk around, and quickly he found this right here. And I think you'll agree, something has happened here on the edge of this slide. And it is sort of sagging, as you can see, and it's missing a lot of sealant. So something's happened there. So stick around. We're going to try and figure out what's going on.
Well, here we are again. Had to run away from there in order to avoid the seller because of this latest adventure. Another one.
So here we are in that beautiful development. We've taken you there before. If you go back and watch the Holy Grail, I'm going to link that video above. It's a development that the only people that can live there have to have an RV garage. You don't have to own an RV, but you have to have this massive garage to house an RV. So it's really quite an amazing development. It's beautiful. So we get there today, and
as I walk through the garage, because it's another setup, this gentleman didn't want to have the unit outside on the street. So there might be rules about that too, but at one point when I asked him, he said something about, well, he doesn't want to publicize. So I think because he's a car dealer, just to give you a background of the guy. So we pull in the garage. My eye is acute to some things that I know I gotta find defects that is kind of obvious sometimes. Sure as I tell her as she's about to jump in the bus, I says, come up here, I'm gonna show you this. So I show her the bottom of the trim, as you can see in the picture. This bottom of that trim is all laid down, about 1/4 of an inch. I know it doesn't look much, 1/4 of an inch. You say, oh, those RV people, they can get over it. It's a freaking RV. No, the 1/4 of an inch is a lot. And it's just at the bottom, so the rest is not coming down. So that's kind of phenomenal. So I had to show her this. So look. So that's how it started. That's the first thing we caught as we got in there.
Yeah. These are all gone. Screws are not holding.
Got in there. As the day go by, as I'm on the other side of the coach by the wall, I'm about 1 foot from the wall with the extension out, so I cannot inspect the slide out. So now we do the typical rundown that we do, Laurel and I. We bring the slide out in, we take videos, we bring the slide out to see if they operate as intended. It's like people trying to sneak to you. Let's catch you up in a corner so you can't really check everything. Don't light me up, because I will go even more when I feel that something, you know, is kind of held together.
wasn't that the side that may have had an issue, like a little bit of an accident or something?
That's what Mary told us about the left front side. I was aware of looking for that right at the beginning when I started walking around. Like I told you before, I judge a book by the cover. I open the bay door, I can see they're dirty, so I already know the maintenance is not that good. The chassis battery in the back, even the sellers tell me, yeah, I don't know why I changed the house battery, just brand new house battery, and the chassis battery was dirty. Who admits that? I mean, for me, it says a lot. So right there, I know if I can make him talk, I'm gonna learn more stuff. As he comes back and he tells me, you found anything special? Typically, I don't share with sellers because it's for my buyers that I'm working and I'm gonna give them the report. I don't share that. But I showed him this bottom of the rear slide out in the bedroom, and just to see if he was going to say something, to trace how he feels and his reaction. Oh, yeah, well, it must have been like that when he bought it. And people, if it's been like that since he bought it, I mean, that floor is rotten because the water can come in there. That's ridiculous. I mean, just look at the picture. The next statement is, it's working, isn't it?
That's exactly what he said. It's working, isn't it?
Whoa,
Yikes.
Okay, so right there, one less for him, one for me. He's down to -2 now. Sometimes the seller, the more he talks, the better it is. You learn a lot by listening to them. Just let them talk. An hour later or so, I'm going around, I'm continuing my inspection, and I have another story on the front slide. That's the big culprit right there. So, but as I'm between the two slide out on this side, I can hear him on the phone with this seller. John, did you do this? And then, oh no, I brought it there every time, and it's always been service, and I got all the log for service, and it's always been 10 to. I only had $50 deductible. That sounds good. That's a good violin tune. I like that tune. So the minute he leaves, he says, well, see, no, there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not making it up. It is how it is. Don't tell me, don't try to convince me of something that's not there. It's there.
The facts are there.
So I take my ladder, go up on that same slide out, the back one. We're still on the back one. I go on top. He just claimed that he fixed everything on there. Look at that video. Look at that clip. You see the tape on that awning. Tape. I'm not talking about masking tape. It's masking tape. And it's ripped off. The topper is ripped off. You maintain it? Okay, whatever. Hey, we all have our way of saying, I clean my house. So yes, I can't get in there. That front slide out, as you can see in this clip again, here's the gouge on the roof. So I don't have a clue what's going on, but definitely there's no toppers on there. So see the advantage of having toppers, people? That slide doesn't have toppers because you claim that you have this awning that you should leave out to at least not have water go on top of your topper. That's why you have toppers. And if you don't, pull that awning out so it will cover the top. See this gouge right here that you can look at? And that trim on the edges where it's separated from the corner of that slide out? Water's going in there. I can't get a reading because those people keep those campers inside constantly. So even if they had rain last week, they brought it in, it dries. Whatever mushroom or fungus you'll have in there, I don't know. I'm not there to test fungus anyway. I'm just there to show you exactly what I found. So remember that corner. So that's that slide out, the front slide out. So then we end up with Lowell inside.
You know, when you walk in, it's absolutely beautiful. It looks pristine. So I understand why our customer walked in and she was starry-eyed. This was the unit she was excited about. I get it. You can see how pristine it is.
And she told us it's the cleanest that she's found, and so?
Yeah, she's looked at a lot of units. It's the cleanest that she's found in the size and the price range that she's looking in. But anyway, so I'm going through the floor and you can see there are gouges in the floor. The floor is not ceramic. It's actually vinyl, and it's not one sheet of vinyl. It's little sections of vinyl, like 2 feet by 18 inches, something like that. And there's 3 other sections that are underneath the bed in case you do need to change them. Unfortunately for her, she would need the 37-foot length of the coach. So she's gonna need quite a few of those sections because the rollers from the slides have made huge gouge marks into the floor. So as you can see, I'll show you right here, this video right here is showing you the gouges that are in the floor. This is something that it didn't just happen overnight. So the weight of that super slide is actually just laying on this vinyl and making these demarcations, these ridges that are in the vinyl, as you can see.
So all the rolls that you have on those slides are about 1 inch in diameter, about 6 inches, 7 inches wide. As you can see in there, they're at equal distance. They're about every, what, 3 feet, I'd say 2-3 feet.
Probably 2 feet, yeah.
So you see those, every one of them, constantly from one end to the other. I mean, that's a lot of planks to change, but that's us. I mean, you know, some people can live with that, they don't care, that's fine, but that was kind of stunning to us. It's okay, and maybe that's another problem. The alignment of that slide is not perfect either. So I can go on and on with comments on that, but
on the positives, I had a lot of positives inside. Honestly, this coach is well maintained inside. The countertops are beautiful. The stovetop worked perfectly. The refrigerator cooled as it was supposed to, and it made the water. The toilets flush. The sinks all work, and they don't leak. So there was a lot of positives that were going on for me inside while Pierre was finding these issues on the outside.
So we go to lunch, and we finally agree that we're going to call our customer. So Mary, we need to call you. We need to talk to you. Which
if
is
we
not
call
good
it
news
lunchtime, exactly what he's
not
saying.
good. We actually have a conversation with her, and you can put yourself into this situation. We're talking. This is what we find. This is what, and you can see your brain going, oh, geez, okay, what do I do? I love this. I want it. There goes this hard part for us to explain something, and you need to read between the lines. Lowell had the right idea. She says, you know what?
Let's Skype.
Yeah.
Let's get her right inside that coach. Let's show her exactly what we have found rather than just tell her about it.
So you got to trust us. Yes, that's your job. If you're from far away, you got to trust our judgment. That's the big deal. That's the reason why you put your trust and your faith in us. And we appreciate that. Thank you. Sometimes it's hard to get a person out of there and try to bring them in reality. This time it was perfect. Last time we were able to call Wendy, come on down, come and see your unit, because we knew she was half an hour from there.
She was able to get right there.
As you can see, link above, the defrauded one is exactly what happened. She was able to come down, and like she said, yes, you're right. Seeing it makes me realize you were doing the right decision to tell me at closed words that I should consider maybe looking elsewhere.
But Mary's a distance away. I felt it was really important that we Skype with her.
Yep.
And I think that was the best thing we could have done. She could actually see.
On top of it, she got surprised like we did. I haven't done the underneath of that slide out yet.
So together, the three of us found another issue.
So that leaking, I told you to keep in mind. So the top of that slide out has a rip in the TPO, in the rooftop. The trim on the edges is letting water come in. Water typically goes downhill, ends up at the bottom of that corner of that slide out that is out. So right here in the corner, as you can see in that video, look at that.
So Pierre goes underneath that slide, and with his fingers, he starts seeing this crinkled mess that's underneath that slide, and Mary sees it too. Immediately she goes, oh gosh, I see exactly what you're showing. I hear it. You can hear the noise that it's making. She knew right away, and that was her decision right then and there.
That solved the problem, because we're able to physically, and we understand that you cannot see, you're not there, so you got to kind of trust us. At a certain degree, you have to leave your fate into us, and I understand that it's hard. So in this case, it was perfect. We're able to, once to bring the customer down, the other one to do FaceTime, and if I had to do it again, you're right. When we had dramatic ends like this, we typically were lucky enough to either have the customer not too far, or this one was FaceTime. We also did that with Dave and Danielle.
Yeah, they were in Ontario.
Yeah.
And we're down here in Florida. So we were able to Skype with them too. And we're going to link their video above also. So you'll be able to see that.
That was a brand new 2023 unit in the yard, never been lived in. So you're thinking of hiring an inspector?
This is why you hire a third-party unbiased inspector. You've got to trust that person that is inspecting the unit for you, and knowing that you're so far away, they've got to be your eyes, and they're going to be able to relay to you everything that's going on with your unit.
And if you can't find nobody that you can trust around your neighborhood because you don't like the picture, they look like criminals, or they don't have a picture or whatever, feel free to call us. We'll go anywhere. As long as you're paying. People need some friendship. You can pay for friendship. We'll be there. Don't worry about that. We'll make it there. It's all a question of trusting the person you're dealing with. That is a big, for me, that's a big motto. If you don't trust the person that you're talking to on the phone and they don't seem at least competent in what you want to feel comfortable with, it's not because you graduated as a doctor that you had 100%.
You may have graduated, but you still might not be a good doctor.
Just remember this. So you got to connect with this person and have the feeling that I can trust them and I put my faith in them. That's what's important. That's what we work on every day, every week, every time we do a unit. Yes, we're anal. Yes, we got a different background. We got a lot of knowledge. She used to sell hydraulic with me. She used to be in charge of manufacturing, from fire trailer to log loading equipment to transportation. We have a different background than normal people, I guess, so we got a different eye, so that's our advantage. But meanwhile,
if you're enjoying our videos, we would love it if you'd hit subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment. If you don't know what to comment, just put the letter C, the number 4, the letter B, the letter O. What's that mean? Comment for Blue Ox. C, 4, B, O. That's it.
So to sum it up, conclusion, you know why you need an inspector. People who still don't believe in an inspector, I can't change your mind, and it's good for me. There might be some things that I do in life that I should hire somebody, and I just think that I know it all. That's common, that's human, and it's okay. For the
It's
people,
human nature.
yeah, for people who need to have a trustworthy person to feel good about what they're purchasing, that's what we do for a living. So remember, and do never forget, it has nothing to do with the destination.
It's all about the journey.